When people talk or make videos about Avatar movies, they talk about special effects, CGI, the budget. Some say the plot is too simple, the movie is too long, or they proudly list 6 mistakes they found. And when I hear that, all I can think of, you completely missed the point. So let's find out what James Cameron was really trying to say. Why avatars? Why another planet? Why all of that? James Cameron is an Oscar-winning director who created 3 of the 4 highest-grossing films of all time, with Avatar still holding the top spot. Yes, his movies made him incredibly wealthy. But if you look at his life closely, it becomes clear. These films aren't just for money, they aren't just products. They are deeply personal, they are part of him, and he is definitely an incredibly passionate and talented professional. But did you know that filmmaking isn't his biggest passion in life? Can you imagine? There is something else that shaped the way he sees the world and deeply influenced all Avatar movies. And very soon we will get to that. But first, let's talk about how the idea of Avatar movies came about in the first place. So it first came to Cameron when he was 19. He had a dream about an incredibly beautiful bioluminescent forest. He woke up and immediately started sketching it, trying not to forget. But of course the inspiration came not from just one moment, but from the time he spent in nature, in forest in Canada as a child, because he's from there, to the years he spent diving deep into the ocean. Being underwater, surrounded by colors and forms of life most people will never see, shaped the worlds he later brought to the screen. But the beauty wasn't the only motivation. In interviews, Cameron says the story also came from Outrage.
So the inspiration came from really all over the place my whole life. It also came from my strong sense of outrage and injustice about what was happening to the natural world, what was happening to indigenous cultures around the world, what had happened to them historically during the colonial period, my concern about the state of the world and the state of nature and of our sort of cultural disconnect from nature.
There is a strange thing we do as humans. We often feel the need to have an opinion, even if we don't know the subject very well. We pick a side because it feels safer, because it sounds smarter, and we sound smarter. And it helps us belong. And somehow with Avatar movies, it became uncool to love it. If you say you love Avatar, it can sound too childish, too dreamy, too naive. But if you say it's not that deep, the plot is too simple, the visuals are too much, and a lot of other reasons, then suddenly you sound serious, intellectual, respectable. But what if the simplicity was the point? In Avatar movies, we see a world deeply connected to nature, to cycles of life, to each other. It's about belonging, family, community. The movie works on consciousness in subtle ways. Cameron wasn't trying to impress us with plot twists. He wanted to build a world we could and would love to enter, and we could feel it like it's real. I think mission was accomplished.
So it's a cautionary tale, but one that kind of offers a guidance, right? Which is to reconnect with each other, reconnect with nature, put things in balance in this kind of runaway freight train of a society that we live in.
So that's why Avatar movies resonates globally. No matter your country, your culture, religion, it speaks to something universal. The childlike sense of wonder we have when we are young, and more connected to nature, to your dreams and fantasy. When we feel nature as a living, breathing thing around us, and when we still can understand that we are part of it. And then as adults, we lose that connection. Okay, most of us. Cameron even found the name for that: nature deficit disorder. Do you think you have it? So we all know the main plot. Humans arrive on Pandora to extract resources, because the Earth has been exploited so heavily and unsustainably that its resources are dwindling. The Earth is becoming uninhabitable. But if you think of it as confrontation, humans vs Na'vi, that's not what Cameron had in mind.
Are about the kind of the darkness and the light that exists within us, right? So the Na'vi kind of represent our better nature, and the humans in the story represent our more venal, and greedy and less empathetic nature.
So, as you see, the Na'vi represent our better nature, connection, empathy, respect. Humans there represent greed, disconnection, corruption of the world. So, Avatar itself is a symbol, the part of us that could live and would love to live differently. The first Avatar is set in the year 2154, and probably because of this, he was asked a lot in interviews, what future does he think we can expect? And that's his answer.
Look, I don't think anybody can predict what's going to be happening in 2 years. You know, we're on the cusp of an AI revolution right now. We're in a much more precarious world than I believe we've been in for the last 20 years or so. Climate change is actually, you know, coming to a head as well with the wildfires and you know, massive deforestation and all that. I don't want to sound like a downer, but we got to come to grips with the next decade. We could have a thriving civilization, or it could be nothing but cockroaches and tumbleweeds.
Do you remember I told you that filmmaking isn't his biggest passion in life? So what is? James Cameron is an environmentalist and a deep-sea explorer. Maybe you already started to connect the dots. These worlds, these passions didn't just coexist, but one deeply shaped the other. One commentator under his interview explained it perfectly. He says, "I'm starting to think that being the most successful film director of all time is James Cameron's side hustle. And let me tell you why. Just a few facts about Cameron. He helped advance underwater filming technology, became a National Geographic explorer in residence, and in 2012 he dove alone to the deepest point of the Mariana Trench, 5 miles underwater. And he didn't just visit it there. He explored and discovered new species." Okay, now let's take a look at James Cameron's personal Instagram page. Yes, he has it, like all of us, right? Let's take a look at it, because I think you'll be surprised. First, we can see some posts about Avatar movies, of course, but then just one scroll down and you see posts about something very interesting. He speaks up about indigenous communities, oceans, conservation, and do you know that he produced a series of National Geographic nature documentaries? Secrets of the Whales, Secrets of the Elephants, and Secrets of the Octopus, with upcoming installments on bees and penguins, all focused on animal intelligence, emotion, and protection. Cameron's movies, documentaries, and even his personal Instagram page represent his values and what messages he wants to translate to the world. So maybe Avatar isn't meant to be deep and with a complicated plot as we measure depth today. Maybe it's meant to remind us of something we already knew, that nature is alive and we are part of it, and that the future depends on whether we remember that or not. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did creating it.